Hi everybody, this is Judy at Judy in the Kitchen. Today I've got some tips for you for adding more fiber to your diet. So if you know that you just don't eat a lot of fresh fruits and vegetables and you don't have a lot of fiber in your diet and you have problems in the bathroom where you can't go on a regular basis, you're constipated, and you just know you don't eat enough fruits and vegetables, hopefully some of these tips will help you out. The list is long. There are a lot of things we can do to add more fiber to our diet. So this is part one out of a two-part series. I'll have a link to part two below. Now I want to say right up front that if you are not used to eating a lot of fiber, you don't want to go hog wild all of a sudden and just go from 10 grams of fiber a day to 50, okay? That will cause some issues, okay? You would not be comfortable with doing such a thing. So if you want to increase your fiber intake, which most Americans need to do, take it slow. Allow your gut microbiome to get used to adding more fiber. It does make a difference. And allow you time to adjust to your new habits and consider them lifelong habits, not just temporary so that you can go to the bathroom on a regular basis or something like that. Consider it a lifelong change. Take it slow, develop your habits over time. Look at your breakfast. What are you routinely eating for breakfast? Are you eating low fiber foods like processed cereals and pastries and white bread and pulp-free juice, or an array of no-fiber foods like animal products? Now, I'm not saying anything against eating animal foods. I'm telling you point blank that they have no fiber in them. So if you have a routine of eating bacon and eggs and sausage and milk and cheese and even yogurt at breakfast time, fine and dandy, but there is no fiber in there to be had. And if you want to increase your fiber intake, you're going to need to slow down on those and replace those foods with some fiber-rich options. Try oatmeal or another whole grain cereal and maybe some fresh fruit in place of fruit juice, especially pulp-free fruit juice, and see how it goes. Next, take a look at your snacks. Are you routinely snacking on donuts and pastries and cakes, cookies, candy, and then chasing that down with a sugary beverage or some coffee? Hey, they may taste good going down, but they're not doing your body any good. Try replacing them as you can with high fiber foods and whole foods. Maybe a cookie that you made from whole oats, bananas, and a touch of cinnamon and some raisins. Yes, you can make cookies just from those ingredients alone. What about snacking on some fresh vegetables or maybe a handful of nuts? Or maybe enjoy a snack of some fresh vegetables dipped in your favorite hummus. Snack on some fresh fruits even. And then replace your sugary beverages or your coffee with a tall glass of lemon water or maybe even an herbal tea. And if you want to sweeten it, try sweetening it with a little bit of honey or even maple syrup if it will go, but honey is usually the option. Try adding a tossed green salad to either lunch or supper every day. Now, if you're not used to eating a salad, it doesn't have to be a huge bowl full, just a small amount till you can get used to it. Be mindful of what ingredients you add to that salad. You want to load up with leafy greens, lots of lettuce and other greens like spinach or arugula or a spring mix or something like that. And then you want to top it with some fresh vegetables like bell peppers, tomatoes, something like that. And if they don't suit well for you, try some lightly cooked vegetables on there. Some either raw or lightly cooked carrots, maybe some lightly cooked broccoli, or some lightly steamed cauliflower, something like that would go well on a tossed green salad. Keep it simple so it's easy for you to manage And use the simplest dressing you possibly can. A lot of salad dressings are loaded down with sugar and fat from the oil and so forth. Try to keep it simple and just squeeze a little bit of lemon or lime or even an orange on your salad dressing. Yeah, it might take you a little while to get used to that rather than a sugary salad dressing, but if you allow yourself time to get used to just drizzling a little bit of fresh fruit juice over your salad, you will get used to it. It takes time, and I know this from firsthand experience. It does take a little time, but allow yourself time to adjust your taste buds, and you will thank yourself in the long run for that. And if a salad is not your thing, try a fresh vegetable soup that you make. When I say fresh, I mean a homemade vegetable soup, and in place of the salad. But you could even do both if you want to, a salad at one meal and a vegetable soup at another, or another day. Any way to work more vegetables into your day, especially fresh or ones that you have lightly cooked, helps to add fiber to your day. Once you get used to having even a small side salad every day, kick it up a notch and allow yourself to eat a big salad for a meal, okay? Make it in a big bowl because you want it to make sure it's going to hold you well. And then add some protein source if you want, like some cooked beans, peas, lentils, nuts, seeds, something like that to it. And you'll add fiber and nourishment and an added protein if you feel like you really need to. Again, keep your dressings simple as possible. Try to leave the croutons off if you can, because they're normally made with refined white flour. You don't need them. Get rid of them. Instead of a crouton for crunch, how about some nuts for crunch? That will work just as well. Lean on legumes. Beans, peas, lentils are great sources of fiber and added protein. Add legumes of your choice to soups and or your large salad meal if you can. If you're a heavy meat eater, try your best to once a week go to a meatless meal. Better off make it a meatless day entirely if you can, but at least a meatless main meal if you possibly can. Choose whatever kinds of beans, peas, and legumes you want. Serve it over a whole grain of your choice. Could be brown rice, could be millet, quinoa, amaranth. Could even do steel-cut oats if you want. They would all work well. Serve that with a large portion of vegetables of your choice, and you'll have a healthy, filling meal with lots of fiber in there. Why not try making a wrap once in a while with cooked beans in there, cooked beans of your choice. Black beans, pinto beans work really well. Lots of fresh vegetables, including leafy greens. Serve it on a whole grain tortilla if you're into grains. If not, you could use a nori wrap, something like that. Or you can even make I'm going to call it a potato thingy, but it's like a mock tortilla out of mashed potatoes. Just you can flavor them in different ways that you want, and then just spread it out on a frying pan. Very little to no oil, depends on what kind of frying pan you have, but very, very, very little fat, as least you possibly can. Or you can put it in the oven on some parchment paper, cook it at 400 degrees, and spread it out all you can, and allow it to stay in there until it starts to firm up, and then flip it. And then you can cook the rest of it that way, and they do work as a wrap. I've done it, and they do work. Now, once you've filled it, before you've wrapped it up, top it with a little salsa if you want, and enjoy. Try to leave the other types of products off of there that you might normally put in cheese or something like that, but if you insist on the cheese, fine, just don't overload it with the cheese, because you're taking away potential space in your tummy for something that will have more fiber. load it up with more vegetables. And if you want cheese, put a little bit of cheese on there. Not a lot. You want to save room for all the fiber-filling foods that you can find. Make it a point to load up on all the fruits and vegetables every day that you can possibly eat. Okay? If you are one who just doesn't eat any fruit, you hardly eat any vegetables other than French fries, something like that, which I don't advocate because they're loaded with fat and they're not healthy because of that. Potatoes are a healthy food, but not when they're overloaded with fat. When you're making a transition like this, you want to try to increase your fruit and vegetable intake. Start with maybe 5 servings a day. That might be a lot to you, so start with less if you have to. And then keep that up until you get used to it, and then try to increase it even more. 10 servings a day is wonderful. A lot of days I even eat more than that, up to about 15 servings of fruits and vegetables a day, whole fruits and vegetables. Yes, I eat a lot of food. And when you include whole natural foods like that, you're on basically an all-you-can-stuff meal plan like I am. And it may even help you to lose weight eating all you want as long as you stick with unprocessed whole foods. Make your desserts count, okay? Instead of indulging on cheesecake and ice cream and traditional cookies and cake for dessert, as yummy as they might be, try to force yourself to opt for a piece of fruit instead. Yeah, I know, it may not sound as good as a piece of chocolate cake, but if you like ice cream, why not make some banana nice cream? All that is a frozen banana that's been processed until it's smooth. And you can add some flavoring to that processed banana. By processed, I mean a food processor. And you could add some vanilla extract. You could add a little milk of your choice. You could add some cocoa powder to make it a chocolate. You could add a date to it if you want to sweeten it up some, or even a little honey, something like that. But it's good on its own once you get used to it. And then it makes for a delicious dessert, and it's a good substitute for ice cream. This concludes part 1. Stay tuned for part 2. I have a lot more tips on ways to include fiber in your diet. So this is Judi at Judi in the Kitchen. I hope this helps. Bye for now.